So I'm joined by Kenney, faces Dominick Cruz this weekend at UFC 259. Casey, how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Just finished up media day. Went to Whole Foods, got a little bit of food and stuff for after weigh-ins and everything. And that's my favorite part.
Yeah,
so it's been about a year since I actually got to go to the grocery store during fight week. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, how was media day for you? Was it okay?
Yeah, it was good, man. We did our virtual stuff and then we did the in-person stuff. It was pretty quick, man, about an hour or so.
Yeah, that's cool, man. As long as it went all smooth, that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So how does it feel being back in Vegas and fighting at the Apex then?
It was great. I love the Fight Island trips, but I got a couple of those in the bag. Maybe if we can get outside the bubble and Fight Island, I like to go back. But until then, Vegas, I think, is the spot.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's nice being in that bubble, but there's not really much to do, is there?
Right, exactly. It was fun. It was a good experience, but got that done twice. So Vegas it is. I like a quick little 40-minute flight from Phoenix.
Oh, you drove down this time though, right?
No, I flew this time.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, I flew. A couple of the people from Phoenix like to drive, but I just hop on the plane.
Yeah. Like you said, it's 40 minutes. Why not? I just wanted to talk to a little bit about yourself before we got into the fight stuff. So you're not originally from Arizona, are you?
Correct. I'm originally from Indiana. I was born there. Spent my first almost 21 years of my life in Indiana, and then right before my 21st birthday, moved to Arizona finally.
So what made you make the move then?
I had an aunt and uncle out there, and went to chase the wild dream of being a fighter. So I was in college wrestling in Indiana on scholarship and stuff. And after my sophomore year, I was like, I'm out. I'm done with school. I'm moving to Arizona to become a fighter. And then here we are.
That's sweet, man. What did your folks think to
that? Well, they weren't too thrilled at the beginning. Now they live in Arizona. I'm an only child, so I always tell them, like, you can thank me for getting out of the cold. If I would have listened to you guys, we'd probably all be back in the cold still. But it was good, man. They were a little thrown off at first, but I think they just wanted me to, do something with my life. And I had a good thing going in college, and they probably thought that, why break that good thing going on? But I had other plans.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't think the same now.
No, definitely not. Definitely not at all. I even convinced my grandma that MMA is a good sport.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So when you arrived in Arizona, what were you doing before, you got into your professional career and you got into the UFC? What were you doing to kind of survive and live?
So I was working just at a Toyota dealership in a Holiday Inn and kind of starting to train. I was working 2 jobs doing the normal minimum wage stuff. And then I met Chris Carriasso at Rise Combat Sports. I was over there training. And then, you need somebody to work the front desk, help teach the kids class. And then, I did 5-6 years of running the kids program, even played manager at the gym for a little while, taught privates, kids classes, pretty much all the way up until I got signed by the UFC.
Okay, cool, man. So quite a big leap from doing the usual 9 to 5 to UFC then.
Yeah, exactly. I spent a lot of years at the gym. I was probably only about a year or so that I worked the normal 9 to 5 stuff. But then once I got into the gym, it was a job that provided money for my bills and life, but I really enjoyed doing it. Enjoyed teaching. I enjoyed doing all that stuff. Probably in my near future as well, to go back to teaching and everything, but going to take a few years and focus on myself for now.
Yeah, that's cool. I know you've mentioned about teaching before as well, and I know it's something you enjoyed quite a lot. Did it help you in your own game?
Yeah, when I started over there teaching, I was just really starting in my mixed martial arts career. I had an extensive grappling background, so I knew a lot of that. But I still started in new grappling over there as well with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It was grappling, but it was a little bit different. In the striking, everything was new to me. So teaching the striking and also doing it, it helped, solidify those basics, teaching everybody the basics, the step-by-step stuff. It really, implemented the basics and good habits and good routines in myself. And then, just kind of build off of that. But the teaching definitely helped, like, hey, I should probably be doing that as well. I'm teaching somebody this stuff, like, do as I say, not as I do. Right.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's cool. And I know you mentioned, obviously, your last 2 fights were in Fight Island. And between those fights, there was a very short amount of time. So is it nice to be back in the US, training and having a full camp to prepare for this fight?
Yeah, it was really nice. The first Fight Island fight, we had the travel and stuff, but I had a full camp for Alatang, I got plenty of notice. The second one was a little wild, but I was still, prepared, ready from the first camp. And, but it does feel good just doing like a normal fight week, doing the normal stuff that I would normally do for any other fight, training at home and all the way up until, Tuesday of this week. Fight Island was pretty much another week of hotel training and, flights and all that good stuff. So it was nice to just kind of have the normal routine.
Do you enjoy coming back to Vegas? Do you like it here?
Yeah, man, it's the fight capital of the world. I can't hate on Vegas at all. This is where all the magic happens in the fight world, besides the Fight Island, but that, that's a new thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, because when we come to Vegas and you're walking around like the MGM Grand and stuff, kind of gives you goosebumps a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And, I guess the MGM building is not really in the works. T-Mobile, or who knows, maybe Allegiant Stadium next time we have some fans, but I'm hoping to, get an arena with some fans sometime this year would be nice.
So I want to talk a little bit about the preparation for this fight, obviously at the weekend. Have you been doing your camp predominantly at the MMA lab?
Yeah, so I do a split there with MMA lab and then Rise Combat Sports in Tucson. Pretty much have done that since my LFA fights. Train 4 or 5 days a week at the lab, 2 or 3 days, at Tucson and Rise, and also with my strength coach, Nick Hulk. He's down in Tucson. So got a good little system, good little setup there. Is
there anything you've changed in the build up to this fight? And in terms of training, have you brought anyone in to kind of mimic the style of Dom?
Not exactly. I had a good handful of guys to pick from at the MMA lab. One of the main guys that stood out was Sean O'Malley. He's light on his feet, got good footwork. I got some rounds in with him. But first and foremost, any camp, no matter who I'm fighting, I got my routine, and we're always building and making small adjustments. But for the most part, got my routine down and prepare myself, sharpen everything, and then the fight will take care of itself. But got a couple guys to move like Dominick, do the best they can. But Dominick Cruz is unique, so sharpen myself, and then the magic will happen in there.
And while we're on the subject of the lab as well, you've also got 2 teammates on this card, Kyler and Mario. What's it like working with those guys like day in, day out, and then all 3 of you being on the same card?
Yeah, it was great, man. When I first got booked to that card, we were talking. I'm like, man, I need you guys on the card as well. And then Kyler came, and then I was like, all right, we just need Mario. And it looked like that wasn't going to happen, but lo and behold, someone fell out and he's stepping in. So I got to experience with Kyler and Fight Island, just that whole energy, having a teammate, a whole nother, crew with you. We were rolling deep at Fight Island. It feels the same way over here in Vegas. It's a big card, one of the best cards maybe ever. And, we got 3 guys all at the bantamweight division there. So it's a good energy and a good thing to have everybody around.
As well, the bantamweight title is on the line this weekend between Aljo and Peter. And I heard you've already kind of favored Peter in that fight. But what is it that kind of makes you, bet for him?
I think, one, I'd like to fight Jan. I'd like to fight Sterling too, but I think stylistically, Jan would be an exciting fight for me. 2, I think he's got the grappling to survive the onslaught of Aljamain Sterling, his submissions, and then I think his striking will take over in the later rounds. As I'm not saying Aljo's going to slow down, but I think he normally finds his shot. He finds his groove in in a little bit later rounds. Jan does, so I think that's where he gets it done.
Now, the last time I saw you was like just before Christmas at the lab, and I remember you spoke about a potential. Well, there was a potential matchup with Song Yidong. It didn't actually happen.
Never happened.
So how did finding that news out and then finding out that you were going to face Dom, how did that feel?
It was great. Like I said, I think I knew when I talked to you guys last, but I just had not dropped the name yet because nothing was for sure. And I originally thought it was going to be in February, which when they said March 6th, I was like, of course, I'll wait another 3 weeks, no problem. But kind of where they were at is I think they were wanting to pair me up with the top 15 guy, which is where Song came from in December. And then when that didn't happen, they started going up the list, and then out came Dominick Cruz's name. And, when they offered me that, I don't say no to many fights, but I'm definitely not saying no to that one. I was like, I'll wait a few months. I'll wait however long you need me to.
Just from my perspective, but fighters like Dom who are kind of at the latter stages of the career, you wouldn't usually think that they take a fight against someone like you who's on the rise, up and coming in the division. So do you give him a lot of respect for taking the fight?
Yeah, of course. I think, what he said about it too, the reasons why, if he wants to make a real title run, he needs to prove himself against contenders. I mean, how could you not respect that? And, a guy like him, like you said, he could probably pick and choose, a handful of guys in there that he would fight and would take the fight. But, he wants to put himself in real title contention against real contenders. And, you're looking at one.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I love that attitude. Just in your mind, how do you see the fight playing out? Because I know you've got a very intense style of fighting. You put it on him for sure. How do you think he's going to handle the pressure?
I guess only time will tell, but I see him slowing down with my pressure. He's a cardio machine. He's he pushes the pace, but my pace is a little bit different, and you can see that in there with anybody. Everybody's ready to fight 15 minutes. But when you get in there with me, that first round, that second round, I'm going to bring some heat even into the third round. So we'll see how he does with the pressure, but I think I'm going to start to chip away. And then once I start to chip away and start finding my shots is when, it's really going to open up.
A victory over someone like Dom. I mean, he's seen as probably the greatest bantamweight to ever be in the UFC. So do you think a victory over someone like him would propel you further in the rankings than maybe a victory over someone else in the division?
Yeah, absolutely. When people talk about guys fighting for a title or, being a champion, the first thing that comes to mind is, have they beat a former champion? Have they fought a guy that's at that level? And, Dominick Cruz is a former champion, and his last fight was for a title. So I think I still need to work my way up in the division, but any extra boost I can get will be good. And I think Dominick Cruz is a good guy for that.
Yeah, 100%, man. So I'm sure you were probably watching Dom whilst you were up and coming in your professional career. Like, were you a fan of him? Did you watch a lot of his fights?
Yeah, I was a fight fan first. I think like 2010, 2009, I started watching like UFC fights with friends. And I actually have a moment in 2011. It was probably about 6 months before. It was about the time I decided I was going to move to Arizona and be a fighter. And that was when him and Faber fought for the first time in the actual UFC. So it would have been their second fight. It would have been summer of 2011, I believe. I remember sitting there hanging out with my friends, in the barn down in Indiana, drinking some beer. Like, I could probably beat those guys with a little bit of training. And, here we are. So I knew about Dominick Cruz a long time ago. And, ironically, I moved to Tucson, Arizona, where he was born. So getting into the MMA scene in there, I heard that name. He wasn't really around training in Tucson at that time, but that name was definitely around.
So it must be pretty surreal, like you watching him from that perspective. And then now you're going to literally be face to face with him across the octagon. How does that feel?
It's a surreal moment, like you said. I'm containing the excitement until fight night, but it's also the position that I want to be in. It's everything that I thought was going to happen when I started this MMA journey, and I've been put in a lot of high pressure situations in my life over sports, and I've always shined bright. So I don't see anything different for Saturday.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And finally, just on the subject of the card, how do you see the main event going between Adesanya and Yan? I mean, like, Adesanya's obviously stepping up. Like, how do you think that's going to go for him?
Man, it's a little bit of a toss-up, but I went with Jan earlier today, so I'm going to have to stick with my answer, man. The Polish power is pretty exciting, and Izzy does his thing. It could definitely go his way, but I'm going to pull for Jan. Keep another champ out of there.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think it's a tough, like, for his first defense as well, to face someone like Adesanya. It's pretty tough for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a tough fight, man. We'll see how the power versus the speed and athleticism goes. So only time will tell.
For sure, man. Now, I just to finish off this interview, I've got a few like off-topic questions for you. They're not fight related.
Okay.
And you can answer them. It's like kind of quick fire questions. I don't know if you've done it before.
Okay.
But
I have. I've done it. I've done something like that.
All right, cool.
We're getting off of fighting though. I don't know how good my answers will be.
No, you can answer them as quick as you want, however you want. But I'm going to fire the first one at you. So question number 1 is, if you could find out the time and date of your death, would you, and why?
No, because I live every day like I could die tomorrow. I have no regrets about anything. I'm living life to the fullest. So no, on that.
That's cool. I like that answer. It's not been a common answer either, to be fair. Right, number 2. What emotion do you feel the most?
Happiness.
Nice.
Happiness. Happy, positive guy, man.
That's cool. I like that answer. It's always good to be happy, man. So number 3, what hobby have you always wanted to develop outside of fighting?
Man, when I was growing up, I always wanted to be able to draw. My art skills have been terrible. No real reason. I just thought it would be cool to, be able to be artistic with the pen. So I switched to martial arts and I became my own artist.
That's wicked. That's sick. That's a great answer. I mean, martial arts is an art form, so I imagine you're probably pretty good at drawing with enough practice.
Yeah, maybe drawing a fight or throwing some punches and stuff. But you give me a pen and draw some stick figures and a house with a window in it. That's probably about it for me.
That's cool, man. I like that one. So question number 4, do you remember your first date? I hope I don't get you in trouble for this.
Man, I want to say I went to the movies, the Ritz Theater in Portland, Indiana, probably in middle school. I don't remember the girl. I can't remember her name. I can't remember who it was, but I remember being there. It was, a middle school fling.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I don't think many people can really recollect their first date, to be honest. It just seems like...
Brought me down memory lane there.
Like a bunch of nerves just blocking out that memory. So number 5, did you have a nickname at school? And if so, what was it?
I did. So my wrestling friends used to call me the mean little kid, and it's got shortened to Little Kid. And some of my friends from back home in Indiana growing up, they still call me Little Kid. But it came from the way I would come out and wrestle, do judo. It's pretty similar to the way I fight. Come out, put the pace on, try to hurt you type thing. So that's where that nickname came from. And then, like I said, the mean little kid, it got shortened to Little Kid, but I rock no fight name though. No fight name.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I like that. So question number 6, what moment in history stands out to you the most?
Well, man, 2020 has been a pretty historic year. So in my lifetime, I would say that's pretty, that one sticks out. The year of 2020.
Yeah, that's a good shout, because I think if you think in 10 years time, you're gonna be looking back at, a lot of people are going to be looking back at 2020 as like a year of don't know what the fuck went on kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Some people are jumping up and down. Some people are saying, fuck that year, you know, no more. But, you know, I guess you got to take it how it went.
It was a good year for you in terms of fights, though, for sure.
Yeah, exactly, man. You know, got a bunch of fights in, you know, I feel like it was one of my best years, to be honest.
So the next question number 7. Have you ever been in a serious accident?
Yes, kind of. It was a bad accident, but I didn't get hurt.
Okay, that's cool.
So I actually, right before I moved to Arizona, well, about 5 months before I moved to Arizona, I was going to work, and the country roads in Indiana are narrow and they fall off into a ditch and they have telephone poles. And I smashed headfirst into a telephone pole about 50 miles an hour with no seatbelt on.
Oh my God.
And, didn't even go to the hospital. Somehow the airbag set me down and I didn't have a scratch on me. I had a little cut on my head from where I hit the windshield, but it was a pretty big miracle. So I was thankful that, you know, nothing happened there, but it was an accident that it could have been bad.
Damn, did you not even have a concussion or anything?
No, I mean, I didn't even go to the hospital. I had my mom pick me up and went and hung out with some friends. Just say I didn't make it to work that day.
Damn, man, that sounds bad.
Yeah, it was bad. Like the car was totaled. I mean, I should have been hurt in that accident, but you know, I wasn't. So
yeah, man,
it was all good.
Shit, that's crazy. So my next question is number 8. So if you were guaranteed the answer to any question on Earth, what would you ask?
Okay. Any question on Earth? Man.
It's a pretty tough one, this one. I don't know what
that is a tough one. What's the secret to life?
Yeah.
What's the secret to life?
That's most people would want to know the answer to that, I think. Because
right?
No one does.
No one does. I'll stick with that one.
Okay, that's cool. So number 9, when do you feel the happiest?
Man, I'm pretty happy all the time, but I would say when I'm walking out to a fight, that's a pretty special moment for me. Walking out to a fight, that's, you know, the fight itself, I'm happy, but we're kind of in the zone as the fight goes on. But the walkout's special. It's a happy moment. That's
cool, man. Do you have any specific memories of any walkouts that are they all kind of the same?
Yeah, there's certain ones. You know, the Fight Island ones were pretty good. I really liked the Nathaniel walkout, to be honest. I watched that a lot. Just kind of the two different personalities that came out. You know, we were both super intense fighters, but you watch my walkout, I'm smiling, I'm kind of jamming out to a party song, you know, I'm happy. And he is super intense, yelling in the back. And, you know, so that was cool to see just the two different two different personalities of people, and then watch them both do the same type of intense fight in there. So that was a pretty cool moment.
I was going to say, just a question off that. What kind of walkout song, like, do you prefer a song that kind of gets you pumped, or something that probably chills you out a little bit more?
So beginning of my career, I used to walk out to songs that got me real pumped, you know, like some gangster rap type stuff. And kind of towards, I'd say, late LFA, beginning of my UFC career, I switched to more like relaxed party type songs, just to stay in that fun, happy flow state. You know, if I'm too serious, I feel like I kind of lose my flow, lose my rhythm a little bit. So those songs kind of keep me in that happy flow, having fun. And that's where I perform the best.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So my final question is, after this interview, if you found out that I had been arrested and sent to jail, what do you think it would have been for?
Ooh, man. Well, I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff that's legal now. There's a lot of stuff that's legal. I'm going to say you went out and had some fun with a prostitute and you got in trouble.
Maybe that might have happened, but I didn't get arrested.
Well, I just found out from Kevin Kroom that prostitution is illegal in Las Vegas, not the state of Nevada, but the city of Las Vegas.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, me either.
Oh shit, man, that's funny. So, thanks for joining me on the call, and I wish you all the best for this weekend. And it's been a pleasure.
Hey, thanks,
to talk
man.
To you, man.
Yeah, always a pleasure, man. Hit me up anytime. Was hoping we could do it in person, but this has been good. Yeah. So if you ever come back to Phoenix or we're at it again, let me know.
Definitely, man. We'll have to hang out, maybe go for a beer or something as well.
Sounds good.
Cool, man. Take care, bro.
All right, take care, man.
All
Have
the
a
best,
good one.
Bro.
Later.